Here in this video we will dive deep into the Symbiote Celestial rivalry, their war and the powers between these two factions, as well as addressing the big question: did Knull and the Symbiotes really kill and subjugate all the Celestials? And how did they do that? By the end of the King in Black storyline, these powerful space gods of the Marvel Universe were near all-powerful and can create stars and planets as well as destroy them at will. So how did they fall against a bunch of amorphous parasitic creatures? Watch till the end of the video for a conclusive answer. So subscribe if you haven't already, and now let's get to it. Let's start by talking a bit about the origins of the Celestials and the Symbiotes. Both of them are very ancient entities. The Celestials are older than all the other symbiotes aside from Knull, who has been in existence even before the birth of the current universe. Celestials were created by the first firmament, which is the personified first cosmos or the first universe. The Celestials rebelled against their creator and the aspirant counterparts in a war that shattered the first universe into the first multiverse. The Celestials are involved in the creation of new universes, including that of the Prime Marvel Universe as of now. They work with the Fulcrum now and are born from seeds found within planet cores. The Symbiotes, on the other hand, are inorganic, amorphous, symbiotic alien species created by the primordial god called Knull from the living abyss, which was there at the beginning of the cosmos. He created and projected a sort of living darkness called the All-Black, the Necrosort, from his shadow to murder the Celestials and the other gods across the universe. It's impossible to say when Knull first started making these amorphous parasites from the living abyss, but we do know that he created the All-Black first, which makes it the first proto-symbiote, and out of the head of the dead Celestial, he made more of them, an army with him at the head of the hive mind, and went on to destroy civilizations. So the question begs, why are the symbiotes so against the Celestials? And what are the origins of their rivalry, their war in the first place? Well, to start with, the Celestials aren't actually good guys or even villains really. They are more or less just indifferent to the lives of others and are only concerned with the tasks they are given. For example, Arishem only goes around judging the planets which are experimented on. Tiamat's only job is to communicate the findings with the Fulcrum. Jemiah only analyzes the advancement of the genetic experiments on different planets across the universe. So let's just say that their actions are often not thought out well enough, and such actions by them brought about the wrath of Knull upon them. So let's look at it from Knull's perspective. Imagine being a god of darkness and having the time of his life, enjoying nothingness, his own thoughts and dreams, and pin-drop silence. He might very well be the ultimate introvert of the universe. So there he is, minding his own business, when all of a sudden, his dark void that he calls home is invaded by light from everywhere. It's a home invasion, mind you, and the intruders are the Celestials, breaking up things, remaking everything with light bulbs and LED balls. These are stars and planets, FYI. I'm just recreating a scenario. So there he goes back to his room and comes out with a special sword called the All-Black and starts hacking it on one of these Celestials, decapitating its head. But then he was sent or cast out by the others, because there are too many of them. So he retreats but swears to get back his home one way or another, swearing vengeance on the home invaders, the Celestials. So that's how the war started. So for us to know what the Symbiotes were really up against, we have to know what are the powers wielded by the Celestials and also the Symbiotes. The Celestials are immeasurable cosmic and supernatural powers with seemingly no limits. Many consider them to be the most powerful energy generators in existence. They transcend the conventional space-time structure and are considered to be near omnipotent entities. The Celestials collectively shape the cosmos in order to create life throughout the universe. Even though they can be killed, they are biologically immortal, and only a select few have enough strength to overpower them, or at least a single Celestial at a time. Knull has defeated a Celestial in the past, but the only one we know of is the severed head of one which became the mining colony called Nowhere. So killing a Celestial isn't really impossible, but it is pretty much near impossible to many. Galactus has defeated and killed one mad Celestial in one of his encounters, but was overpowered by the remaining three that were also there as well. How Knull slayed Celestials and gods in the past is with the All-Black, the Necrosort, which was made of the living darkness, the living abyss, and channeled the energy of the void, something that the Celestials were surprisingly vulnerable to. But why? Why were they vulnerable to this? Well, let's get into that now. So what are the real powers of the All Black and Knull? Well, he appears to have the same powers that the All Black the Necrosword bestows on its host, but to a higher level as he is the creator. Sounds a bit similar to how the Ring of Power in the Lord of the Rings gives some people abilities, but the real power is wielded by Sauron. So yeah, much of Knull's and All Black's power stems from the metaphysical connection to the Celestial's undead body, which gives him power through the Necrosword in exchange for assimilation of the souls that he kills. He also has control over the living abyss, the dark energy, and even time to an extent. But the All Black is the key to it all. It was made to nullify immortal beings and inflict mortal wounds on them. And with each god or celestial it slays, it grows stronger, feeding off of their powers when they die. So by the time the King in Black storyline started, the All Black would have been wielded by Knull, the first one, then the infamous Gore the God Butcher who killed thousands of gods with the Necrosword. Hell, it was even wielded by Galactus and Ego at some point. So by now the powers of the All Black would have far outgrew the resistance of the Celestials to it. Even if the first one that was killed billions of years ago was just a fluke, by now it would be able to put a multitude of them down if it bonds with the right host, which was Knull in the end, the original host, its creator. And with Knull at the head again of the symbiote hive mind, he was able to kill and overpower maybe all of the remaining Celestials. Okay, now we come to the scene where the Celestials descended into the earth and they were clad in a symbiote outgrowth, kind of like an armor. Now the question comes to mind, did the symbiotes really bond with the defeated Celestials, or were they only reanimated bodies? The first instinct is to say that these were forcefully bonded with weakened Celestials, therefore enslaving them to the hive mind, but this would be far too difficult or even impossible, as it wasn't the All Black itself but separate symbiotes that infected these Celestials, maybe a breed of these that were perfected by Knull into parasites that are able to reanimate gigantic dead mechanical bodies. But they still won't be powerful enough to override or mentally overpower a Celestial. So even though a symbiote could bond with a Celestial if it tried to, it would definitely be destroyed by the host in an instant, from either the sound one could generate or the immense heat that these cosmic generators can create. And yes, we even see Iron Man converting one of the symbiote Celestials into his own suit of armor using the Extrembiote. This didn't allow the Celestial to become free because it wasn't alive anymore. So the only answer is that the enslaved Celestials were in fact dead ones, and the symbiotes only resurrected them by bonding with the residual life force that the Celestials usually have. Cause Celestials have this characteristic, they can be revived by one of their own kind if the need arises. They can die, but they do have this residual life force that can be researched within them if the time comes. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, now we know the origins of the Celestials, the symbiotes, the origin of their rivalry, their war, how Knull can kill one of them, and how powerful the All Black is. And most importantly, that these Celestials that were enslaved were in fact dead ones and not alive. So that's that. Now we have come to the end of the video. So do hit the like button for support and subscribe as well to be a part of the MindCube family. But most of all, smash the bell icon for regular updates on new videos right here on this channel. Till the next one, take care fam.